All right, I'm going to do it at 2:01. We will kick this puppy off. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday, a fun Friday, phenomenal Friday. I'll think of some more Fs for Friday alliteration. But I am stoked. I cannot tell you many times I've gone over this presentation, and every time I'm always like, I'm not gonna get too amped. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit more slowly, and then I end up just talking really fast. So thank you, Jamie. I'm excited too. It's gonna be fun. All right. So without further ado, it is 2:01, at least Eastern time. You guys are at Brooke. It's probably 4 a.m.
6:01.
What was it?
It's 6 o'clock. So I've had a sleep in.
You look great. You look great. Brightly. Let's melt some faces. Yeah, some faces are gonna get melted. All right, let's do this. Let's rock and roll. All right. Go in presentation mode, which is rare for me. I don't like going in presentation mode because I don't know what the next slide is sometimes. All right, so if everyone could be so kind as to mute yourselves. Oh no, this is cool. Can everyone see? I'm assuming everyone can see. All right, sweet. So thank you everyone for taking the time out of your busy Fridays. I promise a high ROI on the next 60 minutes of your life. It'll probably end up being 75 minutes, but let's just say an hour for shorthand. I know that you guys decided not to take sales appointments or did not decide to work a session or whatever it was. So I appreciate you guys spending this hour with me. I promise you it will be well worth it. So the secret revenue stream in plain sight, I used to outspend all my competitors and double my EFT without spending $1 out of pocket. Hopefully that sounds interesting to you. And by the end of this, I will show you exactly how to do that. And if my computer will cooperate, we will go from one slide to the next. All right, great. So before I get going, I want to explain the only ground rule that we operate on as a business, and we assume that you operate with two. And so I present this at every single company event that we have. This is our North Star. This is our guiding principle that we use to make all the business decisions that we have. And so a business owner wins by making the same prospect more valuable to his business than that of his competition. So if you think about somebody who's trying to lose weight, all the different needs that they have, we want to make that person more valuable to our business than anything else. So by extension, the gyms that satisfy and monetize the most customer needs will dominate their respective marketplace, right? Like we've been able to grow in this space very quickly, and it's because we've been able to make our customers more valuable, and you do that by providing more value to them, right? And so the reason that the gyms will dominate is because the more ways we can monetize customer relationships and the more needs we can satisfy, the more money we can make, right? And then the more money you make, the more you can turn around and spend on marketing to attract more customers, and then by extension, help more people. And then the more you can spend on serving those same customers with the additional money that you just made. And then obviously, the more money people spend, the better results they get. The more clients then talk about your business because of the results that they're getting and the superior experience they're having because of the money that you are now making by satisfying more of their needs. And then obviously for you, the more money you make, right? And this is all by finding more ways to monetize your customer relationships and satisfying more of their needs. And so what I want to show you is how some of our gym lords have taken this business truth and used it to dominate their markets like 800-pound gorillas. And I just think that picture of a little like finger monkey is cute. So everyone deserves to see finger monkeys at least once a month. So, but before I get to it, let me just tell you how this all started. So for those of you who don't know, this is me when I signed my first $5,000 lease. A lot of people are like, oh, that's so awesome. Like, you're so brave or whatever. Like, and to be really candid with you, I had no idea what I was doing. So I didn't know I didn't know that what I was doing was brave because I had no clients and didn't know anyone in the area. That's where I slept on the floor because I didn't know that I was going to have to afford both a rent to live and a rent to for the business, and that those are going to be coming both out of my account. So that was became a reality very quickly that I was no longer going to have a place to live. And that was this middle picture here was the first day that we were open. My little duct tape sandbags, I couldn't afford the $40 ones because I was like, man, those are nice ones. So I went to Home Depot and you get them for like $5 and put some duct tape on them. Easy peasy. Worked really well until someone was running with them, dropped them and chipped a tooth. And then I was like, okay, we're going to get the nice ones, the handles. And so during that period of time, I just heard about this thing called Facebook marketing. This is like 2013. And I started using it and things started going well. I remember I actually took this picture to send to my dad because I was actually really proud of this. Like I was like I'm making it. Like look how many people I signed up. And this was right before the first day of the gym being open. So that's what I opened my gym with on day one was those contracts right there. And so things started to grow, and we had over 9 employees. I was pretty excited about that. And I was starting to feel like I had it figured out. I was like, all right, I got this. Like, I'm a businessman. I understand these things. And then all of a sudden, the Facebook slap happened. So this is not, Facebook has changed things many, many, many times. This is not the first time things have happened. And overnight, I had 5 times higher lead costs. And so my money hurricane that Facebook once was became more like this, right? A little Sahara desert action. And so all I could think about at that time, though, was like how I just didn't want to let everyone down, and how I just didn't want to fail. I was like, holy, and I'd started to get this momentum, and people were like, oh, Alex is doing well. And so I was like, oh God, what if everyone thinks I'm failing? Like, I have to fix this, right? Like, I didn't want anyone to know that I was struggling at that point, but I was like, something has to change. And so the question I kept coming back to is like, how can I afford to pay more for leads, right? And I knew I needed to have something that was immediate, cash up front, right, with no payment plans, that didn't require any fulfillment because I didn't want to add any more money to payroll. I didn't want to add any more sessions because I was still teaching them sometimes. And so I knew I needed to make like $100 off each person. I was like, if I can just do that, that would cover all my ad costs, and I'd be able to basically turn lead flow as high as I wanted. So that was the goal, right? And so I was like, what service could I possibly sell that everyone would buy cash up front on top of what I'm already selling? So I'm already selling service. Like, what other service could I sell that would work? And then it finally hit me, and is that it wasn't a service. It was supplements. And so as soon as like I made that shift, it changed my entire business model forever. And so it really did unlock the missing link to my growth. And from there, I was able to grow to a 2nd location, 3rd location, 4th, and so on. And not only that, I actually got pretty good at selling supplements. So it became a cornerstone to how our business model worked. And so some of you guys have seen this ad. It was probably the longest ad that we ran for a long time. This is where we signed up like 191 people in the ghetto. If you guys have seen the video, if you haven't, it's kind of funny. I would recommend doing it just for your own like humor's sake. This was before I was even trying to like market to gyms or anything. I sent this to a mastermind group that I was in for internet marketing at the time, just being like, isn't this crazy? Like, but what people don't know is that after I did this 191 signups in 19 days, I actually did 5 days after that and sold $21,000 worth of supplements in the next 5 days. And that was all paid in full up front. And from that 21 grand, I was able to pay for all my flights, hotels, all the ad spend, everything. And so all of the money that came in from the challenge was actually just pure net, which was awesome. And so, but you might be kind of wondering like, cool, Alex, you're good at selling supplements. Like, why do I care? I actually ended up getting pretty good at teaching other people to sell them, which is why it's more important. And so that's actually where Layla entered the picture. So I came back from doing this because this was still like a concept at that point because I still had my gyms, and I was like, hey, I'm going to see if I can, do this thing and see if it works. And I came back, and this is like the very beginning of our relationship. We're probably like 2 months into dating, and I'd been gone for like 1.5 of those 2 months. And I came back with just a backpack because I wore the same shirt and the same shorts every day because I'm a dirty human being sometimes, and I shouldn't say that. But anyways, I was selling. I was in sell mode. Maybe some of you guys can get that. I wasn't like being as hygienic as I probably should be. But anyways, I came back with this backpack full of contracts, and I was like, listen, I know I promised you I was going to go on this date with you, but we need to do one thing first. She was like, fine, what is it? I was like, we have to process these contracts. And that's actually the picture of the stack of contracts that we processed together. And so she processed all this money with me in like 2 hours. And she's like, what do you do again? Because she didn't really know what I did. And she's like, is it legal? She's like, can I try? And of course, I explained how we did it. She flew out with me to do one, and then she flew out to do her own. And of course, Layla decided to one-up me 2 months later and sell $28,457 up front, paid in full, because Layla's a boss and she's a cyborg and can beat everyone at everything. But just goes to show you that there wasn't like some superpower here. Like, this was something that she had never done before, and then 2 months later was crushing it. And so this has been the hardest kept secret for me to keep from everyone in our community. And it's been the last 22 months that I've purposely withheld talking about this, which has been the hardest thing in the world because it's like, man, I got all these things that will just like, there's money on the ground that you just pick up and no one's picking it up. And I'm pumped that we're gonna be able to do this. So just consider this presentation the offer I'll make you guys at the end, my way of making it up to you. All right. So you may be thinking, sure, you and Layla could do it, but could other gym owners use the same system, and have it work for them, right? And so you guys can just decide for yourself. I'm sure I could probably put like, I love my my social proof and having lots of screenshots from Facebook and whatnot, but these are just guys who did an extra 5,000 a month. These are guys who did an extra 10,000 a month, extra 15,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month plus recurring revenue monthly without spending a single dollar in ad spend or adding a single class or a dollar out of pocket for added payroll in their first 30 days. Those are just numbers from the first 30 days. So I want to show you that this is like immediately available to you. All right, so here's Robin Trammy. Using the system I'm going to show you 30 days ago. Hey, Supplementing Gym Lord, it's so great for everyone in this group. Rob Rubin, I just want to share all the tips and tricks that helps do 30K in the last 20 days. And this, you can see in the bottom right here, she updates.
Yep. Right there.
Like, hey, Rob and I
Yeah.
almost made 40,000 extra last month, and this is on top of what we normally make
Yeah.
memberships and challenge sales. What the
Did you
heck?
call Uber?
And then this month we made an extra
must have
15,000
been.
without even touching a finger or making an additional sale. This is seriously a game changer. Get very excited, get ready to rock and roll. This is the greatest thing since Gym Launch was created. This team just keeps topping themselves every time we think, wow, I can't get better, and then it does. So hopefully that gets you a little excited. You guys excited? I'm excited. I'm freaking pumped. All right, like I've been waiting for this moment. So like, thank you for those of you who've been patient with us to build the back end so that we could support doing this for you guys. So supplements have been the missing piece to your gym, all right? And it will be the key to future-proofing your gym, and without them, you'll perish in the future marketplace. And I don't mean to be grim, I just mean to be like a realist, that competition will only get fiercer, and the people who are not using an optimized model that can maximally extract and provide value to customers are not going to be positioned to win.
This is a thing I can do from home.
So I do not care how skilled you are, because we've got a varying range of skill
Something I can
levels
do at
in
home.
sales, et cetera, or what type of gym you run.
Oh,
But I'm very confident that I can add $105,500 a year in revenue using the system I'm going to show you today. Now, mind you, why is it $105,500? Because this is the average extrapolated over 12 months. I'm going to show you a bunch of people who did a lot more than that. But no one ever talks about averages because most people don't have good averages. Right? Like, that's why that's why no businesses talk about their average numbers. They just show you 2 or 3 success stories because people use something called survivorship bias, which is they assume that they're going to be like the one winner out of 1,000, which is why people play the lottery. But I'm showing you the average successes. So if you're just average, you're not good. You're just average. This is what you'll do. If you're above average, then maybe you'll do above this. All right. And so I'm going to prove it to you over the next 60 minutes. So let me ask you a question. Who here would pay $16,000 if you knew, and I'm saying knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that you'd make an extra $105,000 a year as a result? I would. I mean, if I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I would do that, I would pay that, right? And so what I'm going to show you is why selling supplements has not worked for you or for most people, all right? And that's because it was an old model. And so here's the old way. You buy a lot of product up front, you tie up cash in inventory, you run out of popular flavors and never guess the right amounts. If you ever bought t-shirts for 100 people, you can never get the right sizes, right? You never have any margin left over with Amazon because people are constantly price comparing you, right? Lots of price competition. Second sale loss, which means that even if you do manage to magically sell someone something, they go on Amazon for every purchase after that because then they price match you and like, whatever, I'll just do that. With that, with all the cash up front, it's really hard to manage retail presentation because you're constantly cash strapped to make another huge order for your next shipment. And so like your retail can just start to dwindle and just not look good. Products themselves tend to be crappier because it's the only way that you can get a margin. And then you're always seen as a blood-sucking middleman that everyone wants to cut you out. The manufacturers want to cut you out. The end users want to cut you out. No one wants the middleman, right? And there's no way to sell high ticket front end packages, which are like really the lifeblood of this business. And there's no way to track commissions well for trainers and other people who are selling for you. And no clue how to sell these without seeming like a slime ball, which is usually one of the number one things that people say before we even talk about something. Like, dude, I could never even say something like this to my clients. They would think I totally sold out. And I promise you by the end of this presentation, we will explain how to not feel that way and how hundreds of other gyms have gotten over that fear. All right. So after 6 years, I figured out the hard way of selling supplements. And so that was everything that I just showed you was the hard way. And so would you like to know the easy way to do it? Cool. And that's the way that Rob and Tramy doubled their EFT in 20 days. And Josh Prunt used to virtually match his EFT that took him 3 years to build in 3 weeks. Damn, it just hit me that in selling supplements in October, we nearly matched our EFT that's taken years to build. Our EFT is 26,000 for next month, but we did 22,000 in supplement sales in 3 weeks. Cool part is now as the EFT grows, so will the supplements. And then here's Justin Lesh. Justin Lesh took an entire 1 month off vacation, and the supplement sales that he was able to do his facility from his team doing it. He did not sell, but from his team doing it, was able to fund the entire campaign and his vacation. All right. So like, you don't need to be a superstar to run this. Like, this is, I don't want to say dummy proof, but it's so easy a caveman can do it. So the way that gym lords using this are able to liquidate their ad spend before even counting front end sales. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do this, which means that their entire campaigns become pure profit. So who here knows what they're selling on the front end and sees that there's other costs that are associated with that and would love to have all of that be pure profit, right? I would love that too. Can I get a mute action? All right, so my goal today is to show you how you can add this untapped revenue stream and use this to outspend your competition. Can I get a mute action, IT? Thank you. All right, so my goal today is to show you how you can add this untapped revenue stream and use this to outspend your competition even more without having all the issues that I struggled with using.
Yeah. Can you get? Are we muted?
Good gravy. Thank you. I'm using a little Trevor action. All right, so let me show you guys why this changes everything. All right, so gym number 1, let's assume that it converts 20% of its leads. All right, so this is just gym number 1. And they choose not to sell supplements because of limiting beliefs, because they're like, I'm afraid my clients will all leave me because I like decided to actually sell them something that they're already buying anyways. But anyways, let's not get into that. So does not sell supplements because of limiting beliefs, but they're closing 20% of leads. Cool. So let's say they're selling a $500 challenge and they're getting a 20% margin. All right. And the 20% margin comes from the fact that the industry average is between 8 and 12, but I'm saying these guys are studs and they're taking 20% of what they have, what they're making home every month, which means that they're making $100 net per sale, which means if you divide that by 5, because it's 20%, so 20%, 5 times 20 is 100%. So divide that by 5, and that means that they can pay $20 per lead or they break even. So some of you guys have noticed that right around that number, you're like, ooh, all of a sudden it starts to get harder. And that is why, it's because of the net profit per business, right? And so that's what gym number 1's at, right? And that's assuming paid in full. Gym number 2 converts the exact same percentage leads, because I want to give this as an apple to apples comparison, but this owner is like, you know what, I'm going to satisfy more needs and I'm going to supercharge my model. Right? And so they decided to start selling supplements in addition to service. And so they average $315 a head in sales. On recurring is 3.4 times lifetime value, meaning because it's on subscribe and save, but I'm not going to even cover the 3.4 lifetime value because then that would get really ridiculous and people wouldn't believe me. So I'm just going to talk about the 315. And at a 42% margin, which is what these will run, which is 3 times what most gyms run, that gym can now spend an extra $120 per acquisition, not including lifetime value. Which means if you divide that by 5, same way, it adds an extra $24 in immediate cash value, not including the front end sale. And so if you were to compare gym 1 versus gym 2, and gym 1 can pay $20 a lead, and then at that point, they can't spend anymore, and gym 2 can pay 20 plus $24, which means $44 per lead for their break-even point. Who wins? It's just math. You know, just take your emotions out of it. Like, it's just math. That gym 2 will win. So, can I show you how to model my process over the next 30 days to double your EFT without ad spend, buy as much traffic as you want? That's you at the traffic store saying, yes, I'll take all the traffic. Sound good? Okay, cool. So here are the 4 secrets of turning supplements into a money faucet. So secret number 1, people will pay you twice as much money for supplements as they do for fitness services. It's ridiculous, and I'm going to show you why. Secret 2, why not selling supplements is doing a massive disservice to your members. It just is, and I'll explain why and how I came to that conclusion after a year and a half of never wanting to sell supplements at my gym. And I'll explain how I got to that. 3, how to add revenue stream without competition, risk, or dollars out of pocket. That's a big one. It's like, okay, I get it, but how do I do it without risking anything? And then secret 4, how to double your EFT from your existing customers in the next 14 days. Groovy? Cool. Sweet. So number 1, people pay twice as much money for supplements as they do for fitness services. Why would they do that? Because they value them more. So some of you guys may have heard this presentation. I gave this at Funnel Hacking Live. We got a lot of praise for this. And so it's just the concept of selling the vacation, not the plane flight, right? And so you're selling Maui. You're not selling the pre-flight checklist, right? You're not selling the TSA, getting patted down, having some 18-year-old pat you upside down with their knuckles up the crotch. Like, you're not selling the TSA, the airport lines, packing suitcases, taking shoes off, layovers, connecting flights, person farting next to you, terrible smell, turbulence, baggage claim. And for us, within the context of fitness, we're not selling our modules, our meal plans, our macros, our workouts, our programming, our mobility work, the meal prep, all of that stuff, right? We're not selling that because that sounds like work, right? We're selling Maui, right? We're selling the final destination. And in sales, you always sell the same thing, right? The difference is just the quality of the journey, right? Do they want to swim to Maui because there's sharks and you could, drown or get robbed? Do they want to take a boat to Maui? It'll take a while. They're slow / no Wi-Fi, might burn up in the sun. Do they want to take a normal flight to Maui? Okay, get there a little faster, still smells bad and has security, bad food, but they're going to get there, right? Do they want to take a private jet to Maui? Direct, nonstop, champagne on the plane, suitcases packed when they arrive, right? Looking nice. The point is that everyone gets to Maui. Everyone gets to the final destination. The variables are the speed and the quality of the journey. And the likelihood of arrival is assumed since it's a sale, right? So let me show you how these variables work together in establishing value. All right. So this is like a really, really awesome concept. And I hope you guys dig this because it's really cool. So anyways, so these are the 4 variables for value. All right. So you've got result and belief divided by effort times delay. All right. That equals value. So I'm going to paint this picture for you. Result is the end result meaningful, right? Like, let's say someone's losing weight. That would be an end result that's meaningful. Belief, do they really think that they're going to achieve it? People sign up for things all the time that they don't think they're actually going to achieve. How much do they believe that they're going to achieve it? Effort, how much time, stress, sacrifice do they need to give up in order to achieve it? And then delay is how long will they have to endure that effort and cost pain before seeing the result? All right, when you put all 4 of these things together, you get value. So here's an example. Let's take meditation, right? So you see the column in the middle where it says result plus, belief minus, effort minus, delay minus, right? Result of meditation is chill out, feel happy, feel relaxed, decrease anxiety, right? That's a good thing. That's a powerful bonus. That's something that a lot of people want, right? So it's a plus. Belief, how many people think that they can meditate for 30 minutes and do so consistently? Maybe I'd start something, or I'd start an online course on it, or I'd buy the app, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. Maybe I'll give it a shot, right? So it's going to probably be a negative, right? Effort, how much effort am I going to have to put in? Well, I'm going to have to do 30 minutes every day, and I'm probably not going to and I'm going to have a lot of suckage. There's a lot of period of time where I'm not going to be good at it, and I'm going to constantly be distracted and feel like I suck and I'm not good at this. So there's going to be a lot of effort, and I have to do it and stay still and not think about thinking about not thinking, and all that stuff. And then the delay is that there's 2 types of delays. One is the immediate delay is that it takes 30 minutes for me to really get into, or maybe 15 minutes to really get into my Zen state. But then there's the delay of actually having the long-term benefits of meditating every day. It takes a while, right? And so in some ways, the value of this is 1 out of 4. It's not super valuable, which is why meditation is not a bazillion-dollar industry, right? So let me give you a different example with the same end result, same exact end result. Xanax, all right? Big pharma. What's the result? Chilling, feeling relaxed, feeling, well-being, etc. Decreased anxiety. Belief that if I take this, I'm going to feel that way. Yeah, I believe that if I take it, I'm going to feel that way. Effort, I have to swallow a pill. Delay, 15 minutes. Right? Which one has more value? Xanax, which is why Xanax is a bazillion-dollar, anti-anxiety pills are a billion-dollar industry, right? That's why meditation isn't. It's a difference in value, right? So why am I saying this? Let me give you an example that you guys might be more familiar with, that we're all familiar with. So we got fitness. We've got the big result, which is great, which is the only thing we have going for us. We've got life transformation, energy, confidence, looking good, feeling good, all of that, right? That's our big belief. That's our big result. But when people sign up at the gym, what's the likelihood that they actually think they're going to achieve it? Whether you convince them or not, you convince them to buy the service. A lot of them still don't believe they're actually going to hit what you were saying they're going to hit. They're like, I'd be happy if a third of that came true, right? The belief isn't there most times. Effort, what are they going to have to give up? They got to give up all the foods they love. They got to wake up early. They got to go to bed later, or they got to go to bed earlier. They have to explain to their husband. They got to cook 2 different types of things. They have to give up everything that they love in life in order to have this, right? It sucks. Huge amount of cost. They don't believe it's going to happen. And then what's the delay? Even if they do this, they're sore. They wake up. They have to sweat. They feel nauseous. They're like, they have to, cook 2 different types of meals for their kids and for their husband versus them. They got all this stuff that they have to do, this cost. They still don't even see the result for months, if not years, right? Which is why fitness is actually really hard to sell, which is why when people buy fitness or they buy personal training, you have to sit down with them for 45 minutes to explain to them why it's so important and why it's so valuable to them. But like, people happily go right into a Medi Spa and drop a couple grand because the value is different, which, as a side note, is why I believe the best salespeople in the world actually started fitness, because we have learned to sell something that is low value. It's perceived as low value, which is why it's a hard sale, right? Now, let's look at supplements through the value equation lens. Supplements. What's the big result? It's actually the exact same result. You're selling the same Maui as you do with training. They're going to get there faster, right? The result is that they're going to lose weight. The result is that they're going to feel better. They're going to feel better during their workouts. They're going to sleep better. They're going to lose fat at a faster rate over an extended period of time, right? All these things are results that are just as aligned with services, right? So it's a plus, same plus. Belief. What's the belief that they're going to use, let's say, a pre-workout and actually feel more energized when they work out? Pretty high, right? Okay. What's the amount of effort that they need to put in? Shake it up, drink it, or put a pill in, drink it, right? What's the delay? This one's a half score because let's say it depends on the product, but let's say something for like intra-workout, right? So branched amino acids, everyone knows it's gonna increase the amount of lean body mass they're gonna have over an extended period of time, right? Something like that, like an intra-workout product, they can feel that, like the beta-alanine, the tingles, they can feel that stuff immediately. So there is an immediate feeling that they get, but it does take the same amount of time to reach their fitness goals as it does with service. Hopefully, like from a reasonable amount, like they're not going to notice that they gain 10% more muscle in 12 weeks. They will have, they just won't necessarily realize that, right? And so that's why the value score for supplements versus training is 3.5 out of 4 versus 1 out of 4, right? It's perceived as more valuable, which means yes, they do perceive supplements as more valuable, right? Now, here's some crazy stats for you. Supplements are twice the size of the industry as the gym industry. So there's $27 billion a year that come in from membership sales, right, for gyms. There's $52 billion a year that come in from supplement sales, all right? It is twice the value, which means that on average, customers spend twice as much money on supplements as they do on service. Twice. Oops, go back one. So let me give you a real world example. Consider what other products and services are sold within the larger context of the weight loss industry as a whole, right? And just like their results and their costs. Just like, let's zoom out for a second. So this is a weight loss clinic. Some of you guys have heard of these, like Cool Sculpting, things like that, right? So this is the #1 most used Cool Sculpting before and after. Some of you guys have probably seen it, especially if you're a lady, you've probably seen these ads. These are run as TV ads. These are run as magazine ads. They're all over the place, right? Now, if you look at these pictures, right, and you can even see it says before, and then it says 12 weeks after, and then 12 weeks after. So if you're looking quickly, which is what most people do, you see before, and you look at the end, it says 12 weeks after, but it's really 24 weeks because they're sneaky, right? But who here thinks that in 24 weeks, they could achieve a more significant result for a client than they see here? Most of us, right? Most people feel that way. Now, shouldn't it shock you that this lady probably spent between $2,000 and $3,500 for this result? And being real, she probably also changed her diet, but like, or just did a cleanse before she did her final way out. Anyways, I won't get into that. Point is, right? So the point is that she's spending $2,000 to $3,500 for this transformation, and yet we struggle to get people to buy a $150 a month membership. Why? Because they don't value it as much, because it costs more, not just in money, but in time and effort. This lady only had to come in for an hour twice, and then here she is. She has her before and after. So she values the fact that she's going to get a flat tummy for only 2 hours of work, right? And nothing else. Doesn't have to change your diet, doesn't have to work out, doesn't have to be sore, doesn't have to wake up early, doesn't have to, nothing. Right? And that's the difference. That is why they get to charge $2,000 to $3,500, and we are struggling to get $150 a month, right? And so prices like this may shock you, but they shouldn't, because these are actually not really rich people who are doing this. I'm telling you, I promise you this, okay? These are regular people paying premium prices for things that they value. So let me give you a even more tactical example. So this is from data I got from Chris Cawley, who was the original franchisor of Thinique. They had 220 franchise locations of a weight loss franchise. Okay, so the exact same industry as us, brick and mortar service. They just sold supplements as their primary means of revenue, and they gave their service away for free. Yes. So what would happen is people would come in for a $5 a week or $30 for 30-day promo. So your typical LBO, all right? And when they'd come in, they would give them that $5 a week, $30 30-day promo for the service of helping them lose weight. But there was no gym, there was no workout, it was nutrition coaching, right? So then they're upsold in that first visit a $599 supplement starter kit and a 1 free year of service. Just as a total side note, I love seeing like across industries when the price points are around the same. Like we have all kind of found that $599 is that I think the sweet spot for general populations coming in for people who don't need to be sales rock stars can still close that sale. They found the same number too. All right, so just as a side note for you guys. But 5 days after selling that starter kit, they would come back in and sell between $1,500 and $10,000 worth of supplements. Yep. This is her franchise. I talked to her all about her numbers all day long. This is how they did it. How could they do that? Because people value supplements more, right? And these are normal people. These aren't rich folks. They're coming in for $5 promos, $30 30 days. They're not balling, right? And fun fact, their most popular and mandatory supplement was a fat burner that they sell for $150 a bottle, and it total cost them less than $20 to manufacture. And these were doctors and nurses who gave their time away for free. Doctors and nurses were the ones who wrote the programs, right, for them to do. So why would a doctor or a nurse give their time away for free? Because they realized the truth, which is that the average customer values tangible goods over intangible products and services. And that's the average customer. It's worth noting that everyone here on this call, right, the wealthiest people, reverse this because they value their time and they invest in coaching and information, which is why you guys are here, right? The wealthiest people in the world value intangible products more. But back to why average consumers prefer tangible goods. People have this weird belief, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I remember when I would sell it came up all the time, is that they have this weird belief that I shouldn't get paid for services, right? Because in their minds, they don't get paid that much for their time, and you don't have more education than they do, so why should you? You're no better than them. And they start doing this back of napkin math. They're like, if I buy 10 sessions for $600, that means he's making $6 an hour, and I don't make that, so why should he? He's not smarter than I am, blah, blah, blah. And they start telling the story, right? But if they spend their money on products, right, they believe that the more they pay, the higher quality the product is, which is true in a lot of cases, right? But we need to take advantage of this fact, like the doctors did. And we can realize that we can make more money selling people what they want to buy. Like sometimes when people buy services that are more expensive than what they charge for their time, it makes them feel bad about themselves because they could never sell their time for that much. And we're talking general population. But when they buy product, they don't feel that way. They feel good because now they feel like an asset or a consumable that's more valuable to them, right? So here's an example that came up so many times. I just use Rosie as a figurehead here, and I was reminded by someone that this is actually a guy in the picture, but just go with it. Rosie is that upset that she looks like a man in her picture. Not that looking like a man is bad, whatever. I'm just, disclaimers aside, HR compliance. So she comes in and says, I can't afford this, challenge program, whatever. I need a payment plan. And Rosie was actually somebody who came in and she did $99 a week. And she was like, she cleaned houses. She's like, I'm a business owner. You're a business owner. Like, let's see if we can cut a deal here, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, please stop grinding me. And so finally she said, she'd pay me $99 a week. Okay. 2 days later, she comes in and says, and I make the nutrition or, orientation. I say, these are the products you need to buy. And she's like, yes, I'll take all of them. There's anything else that I need. Okay. She dropped $600 on supplements 2 days later. $600 2 days later, and 2 days prior, she couldn't afford $600. She had to do weekly payments for 6 weeks because she does not value my time. Straight up. Doesn't value service. And I can either try and change her beliefs about humanity, or I can just sell her what she wants to buy, right? So the key point here is that supplements will make you more money because customers perceive them as more valuable, right? And on top of being perceived as more value, they stack on top of existing services. So supplements actually represent an entirely different category of purchasing decisions. So it's not like either or fitness and services and product. It's both. And so I use this story, and everyone always like laughs at it because they always remember it. So, you know, maybe that's why I keep telling it. But consumer buying pockets are a lot like how my grandmother used to force feed me. So fun fact for everyone, don't live in the same apartment building as your grandmother. I was told that I should do this when I was right out of college. I got an apartment in the same building as she did. Fun, like secret, you can never actually see your grandmother or call her enough when you live in the same building to make her happy. So I didn't even speak the same language as her. So like, they're not even productive conversations anyway. She just want to hear me breathe on the phone. Anyways, so she would always, you know, prepare these huge dinners for me. And so like when my grandmother would make a dinner, I mean, there would be like 10 to 12 full family size bowls of rice, bowls of chicken, bowls of watermelon slices, you know, I mean, just crazy amounts of food. And it would literally only be me. And I would skip my breakfast and my lunch, and I'd go there almost like nervous about what I was going to have to encounter. And I'd be eating and I'd be sweating and I have to wear elastic pants because like I knew what I was getting into. And she would and always she would just like, she'd be like, more. And I was like, no, like I'm freaking done. And then after I'd be stuffed with foods, you know, brow sweating, she would come and just bring dessert, right? And of course I'd always have another slice of pie and some ice cream. And anyways, this continued, you know, this torture continued for a long time. I'm kidding. She's a lovely lady. But one time I came with my dad. So my dad's witnessing this, right? And so I just finished the first course of just all of the food, right? And then she's clearing the plate and she whispers something under under her breath in Farsi, which I don't speak that well. And he just cracks up. He loses it. And I was like, what did she say? Like, is she purposely torturing me? Like, I need to know, like, if there's intention behind this. And he was like, she said that you filled up your regular stomach, but your dessert stomach's still empty. And so he just cracked up because that's what she was saying. And that's what she lived by. And the thing is that like consumer spending habits are a lot like that, right? Like I would still always have the slice of pie, the scoop of ice cream after being full. And the same thing happens with how they spend money. And so you might have maxed out someone's budget on training services, but their supplement compartment is entirely untapped. And so it's not like they have X amount of discretionary. It's like, this is how much I spend on groceries. This is how much I spend on training services. This is how much I spend on supplements and vitamins. Like there are different categories. And the more wallets we can get into, the more needs we can solve, the more money we can ultimately make, right? And so it works a lot like the dessert stomach. And so, yeah, it means that fitness and supplements are additional instead of either or. And so to recap, you'll make more money from selling supplements because consumers spend twice as much on supplements as they do versus service. They're easier to sell. Consumers will pay you more for it than they will for fitness. They stack on top of what you're already selling. And so now that we covered that, the next natural question is like, all right, I get it. I'll make more money with them. But how does this actually help my customers, right? Like I don't want to feel like I'm selling out, et cetera, right? So that's why the next secret is why not selling supplements is doing a massive disservice to your members. So one of the stories that I tell to like kind of illustrate this is the ham and the garlic. I'll make it super short. There's a little boy and his grandmother, and he's got his dog and it's got ticks on, right? And so he's upset because he's thinking like, my dad gave me this dog to take care of, and he's worried because he's like, what does it mean if I'm not taking care of my dog? My dad's not gonna be proud of me. And he's super lots of anxiety about this. So he goes to his grandmother. He's like, please help me. How do I get these ticks off the dog? And she says, Mijo, like, give him some garlic. He'll eat it. He'll sweat it off, and then the ticks will go away. So the little boy goes over, tries to give the dog garlic. The dog's like, I don't want that stuff. It smells terrible. Right? She goes back to grandmother. She's like, oh, Mijo, did you try and give it to him? He's like, yeah, you told me to give it to him. He's like, oh, you got to wrap it in some ham and then give it to the dog. So the boy wraps it in ham, gives the dog. Dog eats it right up. 2 hours later, starts sweating out garlic. Ticks go away. And so the moral of the story is that we are a lot like the dog, in that we need to give people what they want in order to give them what they need. A lot of people don't know what they need or don't want what they need, but we have to give that. We have to wrap like the Trojan horse. Like we got to wrap what they need with what they want. All right. So there it is. There's the moral. You got to give people what they want to give them what they need. So here's the 4 stories that really changed, or it kind of took me from, I don't believe in supplements, to you should get these with your program. All right. So this is probably over like an 18-month period. These are things that happened that kind of like one by one, like were chinks in my armor, till I finally was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So the first one was Susie. All right. So Susie and GNC, right? So she comes in, she buys a challenge, super chipper, really upbeat lady. And after she buys a challenge, at this point I was selling at $3.99. So this is early on. She's like, what supplement should I buy? Alex, my friend says I should get supplements. Right? That's what she, like, Susie, you don't need to worry about it. Like, just eat and train. Like, you'll be fine. That's all you need to focus on. And she's like, and she just will not leave me alone. And of course, I'm a business owner. What else do I have to do but talk to you for the next 5 hours until you leave? And so I was like, okay, fine. In the name of good service, here's all the stuff that you should get. All right. So I write all the stuff down and I give it to her. And what does she do? She goes to GNC and she meets Jake. This is Jake. I don't actually know if his name's Jake, but he looks like a Jake. So we're gonna call him Jake. All right. So she proceeds to go to GNC. And first off, she hands this to Jake. Jake, of course, tosses in the trash and is like, let me tell you what you need. Right? I don't know why he's from Long Island, and I have nothing against people from Long Island, but you know, I feel like that's how Jake talks. Anyways, so she doesn't get what I prescribe. All right. Because Jake, lo and behold, upsells her a bunch of bad product with a higher commission because that's where he gets his big shtick, right? And he does this without any context to Susie's goals because, like, I just spent the last hour talking to Susie. I know exactly what she needs. I know all of her limitations, blah, 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 blah. I know exactly what she should do, right? Whereas Jake, she comes in and 10 minutes later, she's walking out with a bag based on just what thinks he gets the biggest commissions on, right? And she spent $700 in 20 minutes. And that GNC made more in the 20 minutes than I would over the next 6 weeks counting her reps, talking to her about her food, making sure she's showing up for workouts, following up with her for accountability, telling her, you know, why she's constipated today, looking at pictures of her poop because she feels like it looks a little bit weird today. All the stuff that we're doing in 20 minutes, they made more money than I did. And that just didn't really sit well with me. And so despite that, I was the one who was paying the cost of acquisition. I was the one who worked the lead, and I was the one who made the hard sale to get Susie to start getting fit. And so I was just kind enough to take all of the effort in making the sale and have the hardest part of fulfillment, and then just refer out the profit. I was like, no worries, GNC, like, you can take the profit, right? Because I'm a nice guy. And so despite the fact that I was the one who made the recommendation, how hard do you think Jake had to work to make that sale? Who do you think made the sale? I made the sale, but Jake got the commission. Huh, food for thought. And so just as a fun side note, for those of you who ever refer business out, I referred mine to a NutriShop that was down the street until I made the switch. When was the last time that someone from GNC or NutriShop sent you business? I realized that one day. I was like, they've never sent me anything besides free t-shirts, which I don't want to wear. So why do we keep feeding these guys, right? So the second moment was Juan. So Juan was a guy who was the best client. We've all had a Juan. Juan came in, he was like, man, I want to be like you. And I was like, dude, you need to aspire for more in life, but I appreciate it. And he's like, I want to get jacked. What supplements do I need to take? So he crushed his challenge, and then he immediately signed up for HTP, which is semi-privates, and was like, dude, I want to get jacked. What do I need? And I was like, dude, again, Juan, like, just eat and train right. Like, that's all you need to do. Like, I'm just ahead of you on this curve. Like, boring. Just be consistent, right? And he's like, but bro, you use supplements. And literally right behind me, because like where I would sell was like my office, and on the floor behind me, I had stacked up all of the products that I would use. And so I'm telling this guy not to use supplements, and I have like 7 different supplements that I'm taking. And I was like, well, you know, I'm at a point in my lifting career where I need to get the most out of every workout. It's really just the last 5%, you know, like I'm really just trying to squeeze like every bit I can out. And he was like, bro, I want the same extra 5%. Like, I want to get my goals faster. Like, why don't I deserve the same advantage as you? And I was like, ooh, like, stab. Like, you're right. This is what I take. So here it is. I just wrote a list out. And I was like, there it is. And of course, I gave him my list, and he went out and dropped $400 on supplements. Mind you, it was more than he was paying me. Like, talk about the world's easiest sale again. He just goes there, buys the stuff that I told him to. That store owner just got paid more than I was getting paid. And I was like, wow, this is great. Fantastic. And so what's ironic here is that I was making a decision for my customer that I wasn't even making for myself. And worse yet, I'd robbed him of the opportunity to have the choice, right? And I was like, at least give him the choice. And so after he actually bought the stuff, he was like, bro, like, this is insane, man. Like, this stuff's crazy. He's like, I'm getting crazy pumps. And what happened is he actually started getting better results than ever before that, because and 100% part of it was placebo, because he was just like, dude, I think I'm on steroids. Like, he was acting like he was on anabolic steroids when he started taking crazy. You know, he was like, bro, my mood swings. And I was like, dude, it's ATP. It doesn't really work that way. But he was like, bro, like, I just want to have sex with everything. I was like, great, Juan. Like, that's awesome. I'm glad you're getting great results, man. I'm glad the supplement's working for you. But the point is he was so much more bought in. I was like, why am I not doing this for everyone, right? Give him at least the opportunity. Which leads me to my next thing here. So this is my third aha moment, and this was my new cycle. So I was working with a powerlifting coach at the time. He sent me my new cycle. Note, this was not my actual cycle. It wouldn't actually fit here because it was like before a meet. And I had everything planned out. Of course, I got my cycle, went online, bought all the products that I was going to do. It's kind of like an early Christmas gift to myself, to future self from current self, gains for Christmas. Anyways, I thought this was cute. The point is that as soon as I got the confirmation number, there was this huge rush of excitement. I was like, yes, like my program has officially begun. I'm going to get swole and jacked. It's going to be awesome, right? And then I thought immediately after that, I was like, wow, why am I not letting my customers get the same rush, the same buy-in when they're the most excited, right? Like, it's when you're the most excited, when you start a program, that you should be doing that and that you want to do that. You want to spend the money. Why are we not giving them the opportunity? Right? Which leads me to the fourth experience, and this will be the last one. It's just a tale of two clients. So this is Jamie and Jennifer, and these are two prototypical clients. Jamie's the lady who comes in and I was like, listen, this is what you need to do. And she's like, okay, I'll trust you. I'm going to do it. This is a big investment, but like, I'm going to follow through. Right. And so she will always listen to instructions, and she invested more money than she had at the time. And she was like, but I believe that, like, I really need to do this. Right. Jennifer, on the other hand, was constantly asking, was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, blah, 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 like always fighting me on every single point. Right. And, didn't want it. She's like, I don't want to invest that kind of money. It's not worth it to me, blah, 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 blah. Right. Now, fast forward, right? This is a note that I've learned over and over and over again. The more they pay, the more they pay attention. And you guys have heard me say, like, we vote with our dollars about the things that we care about. So the goal here is to try and get people to vote more times, to care more about this thing that we're trying to get them to do, is to change the behavior, which is really hard. So the higher the investment we can get, the more they'll pay attention to it, which as a coach is kind of something that we should be using to our advantage, right? Like, we should use every tool in our advantage to increase buy-in so that we can have higher average successes across the board. All right. And I always have this note for the Single Mom Challenge. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. I sponsored so many single moms and just single parents during the program. And I told every one of them, I was like, I have sponsored a lot of people. I have never had anyone finish. And it was true, because they never put anything down. They never followed through. And so just a fun one for you guys. This actually is Jamie. Jamie was a single mom of 4, and she drove Uber on the weekends in order to pay for extra product and for the membership stuff. So, like, if we can get our clients more invested, it doesn't matter what their situation is, like, they're going to get better results. She lost like 75 pounds in 12 weeks and like changed her life. And so here's a bonus moment. Once my trainers saw the buy-in that started happening when we started doing this, they went nuts for it. And so here's Erin Moose, who's like, I had an amazing thing happening in the front desk. Her trainers who never had a chance to make money have started to sell supplements today. The confidence I'm seeing and how excited they are is contagious. I haven't sold hardly any supplements in my club, maybe 10,000 a year. Today she sold 3 fast packs, which is like $600 for the stuff. This should put us right around 2,000 this week. We just got the display up last night. Thanks for helping me break through. Make sure all your staff get certified. Here's Dallas, who's like, what's funny is that because I thought it'd be tricky to get the team on board with a new supplement line they never heard of, but they've been fired up, and even our coaches who hate sales are selling the shit out of them. There's Dallas who sold 19,000. Actually sold more than that in his first month. And so finally, I got my team on board with selling supplements, right? And so here's the quick recap for you guys. 1, they're going to buy them anyways. 2, we spent all the marketing money to get these people in the door. Why are we just sending the profit away? 3, we took the time to sell them the hard sale. 4, we know their goals and should probably be the ones who advise them, not Jake at GNC who doesn't know who this person is, right? 5, we should use every tool available as coaches to increase buy-in and perceived results, no matter what, right? And the more they pay, the more they pay attention. And I took these supplements, like I take supplements, a lot of you two take supplements. How could I rob them of the choice at the very least, right? And still to this day, it still gets me excited. And why would I not let my clients experience the same feeling, right? And so naturally at this point, that's where everything, I was like, I'm going to sell supplements. I'm going to go all in on this, and I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to do it. And that's where everything became hard, and I made a fool out of myself and lost a lot of money. So, which leads me to secret number 3, how to sell supplements without price competition, risk, or dollars out of pocket. So I was excited to sell something, then I ran into a few problems, right? The first one was the money down problem. So as soon as I was like, great, I'm gonna go buy some supplements so I can sell them. They were like, cool. Well, we send pallets over, so pallet shipping is expensive, which means the minimum order has to be like $3,000 or $4,000, whatever it was, depends on the supplier. And what's crazy is that every time I would do this, I would always feel the money go out, but I would never really feel the money come back in. It would always like trickle back in, but it was always like man, I'm gonna have to pony up. I'm gonna have to pony up and drop another 4K, another 5K, right? And so just like I always had to put money down and like have cash sitting on my shelves getting dusty, right? The second problem was the impossible flavor problem, which is no matter how many times I tracked who was ordering what, who was getting what flavors, who was getting what products, I could never get it right. So it's like if you've ever bought t-shirts for 100 people, if you try and guess the sizes, you will literally never succeed. And I would always end up with like 16 banana creams. Like there's just nothing I could do about it, right? Which led to the third problem. So I couldn't make these small orders because what I said that with the money down problem, I couldn't make tiny orders because there was fixed shipping. So I had to make minimum orders that were X amount. And so I was forced to wait until I sold out of almost everything before I was able to re-up. And so this made my retail look terrible, which then further compounded the problem and slowed down my sales. It compounded the selection problem because like I wouldn't have like good selection as well. So it didn't look good. And I also didn't have selection. So people couldn't even get the thing that they wanted. And then it made me even more fearful the next purchase would yet be another cash outlay, which leads me to the fourth problem, the Amazon problem. And this has started to happen when I was selling them, is that like there wasn't a lot of margin and like the margins eroded, right? So there wasn't a lot left. And every time I tried to raise my prices, people would come back pissed off because they'd find something on Amazon, right? The second was if I did raise my prices, magically, they'd look on their phone and they'd match it for less, and then they'd say, no, thanks. There was one time we lost an entire room of 28 people because somebody was like, I found it for $7 cheaper on Amazon. And I literally lost the entire room, and I felt horrible. I was like, I really never want to do this again. But then I got back on the horse because that's what you got to do, and sold the next person. But it still felt horrible, and I still remember it. The third thing is the second sale loss. So if I did somehow magically sell someone, they would be like, thanks. And then they would go to Amazon and buy everyone after the first one from there. Fun fact, I was Mutant Protein's #1 facility in the nation and still never got paid past the first sale. I had a girl come back 2 years later, and I happened to be at HB at this time. So this was like a coincidence of coincidences. So I was just like at the front desk, and she's like, is Alex here? And I was like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, you may not remember me. I was a client a while ago. Like I moved. I just want to dip in and say hi. I was like, hey, what's up? And she's like, you know what's funny? I still buy that protein that you told me to get. And I was like, great. Like, I'm really glad that Mutant still makes money off of the recommendation that I made for you 2 years ago. Like, glad I made my first $10 on that. Thank you, Susan. She probably wasn't named Susan. But like, I only made the first sale, and then every sale after that, the company or Amazon would get, right? And the last problem that Amazon provided was like the proprietary problem, which is that sometimes they'd simply find a product that just had some of the ingredients in it and just compare labels and buy that one instead, right? Which would mean they wouldn't buy the one that I wanted. The fifth problem was the crap in a bottle problem. So the product like that I had was crappy, and I did know that at the time, but I felt like I had no choice but to buy cheap stuff and sell it for a lot to at least maximize the first transaction. I was like, listen, I get it. Like, I'm not going to make recurring on this. I'm not going to make anything past the first one. I was like, but I might as well maximize this first transaction so at least I can liquidate my acquisition costs, right? And I don't say it was the best decision in the world, but like, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, that's what I did. Problem 6 was the commodity problem. So no matter what I tried, I was always the middleman trying to get a piece of the pie, and the customer wanted to cut me out. Manufacturer wanted to cut me out. Everybody wanted to cut me out, right? The 6th problem was the Mr. Moneybags problem, which is that I always wanted to sell high-ticket supplement packages, but I was never able to because it would empty me out. So like if I were to do it and have some Mr. Moneybags roll up in his rolls, right? And I'd be like, hey man, you should buy 12 months worth of product. You would literally clean everything I had out, and then the rest of my concepts were there, I wouldn't be able to sell anything for. And so it's like, the best customers would essentially leave undersold, which is heartbreaking. And problem 8 is that I call the unhappy trainers problem, is that they always wanted to sell stuff they were quote sponsored by, right? Like, you know, they're getting t-shirts from NutriShop, or they're getting 5% off, you know, the NutriShop products. And they're like, I want to sell that stuff instead. Even though they make anything, right? And then I was always somehow wrong in their commissions totaling. I don't know why, but it always ended up working that way. And then finally was the techno-balanced problem, is that I had no idea how to sell these things, right? And whenever I talk about hypertrophy or lean body mass or blah, 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 everyone's eyes would glaze over, right? And so the old way was buy a lot of product front, tie up cash inventory, run out of popular flavors, never gets the right amounts, no margin left over with Amazon, tons of price competition. I'd never make a sale past the first sale. My retail looked like shit. I had crappy product. I was seen as a blood-sucking middleman. I had no way to sell high-ticket front-end packages, no trainer commission system, sponsorships or certifications to get buy-in from my actual training staff. And then I never knew how to sell the product. So despite having my gyms and doing well with supplement sales, I always had to work around these issues, right? It wasn't fun. It was a pain. Until now. which is the new way. Anyone want to know what the new way is? Yes. Yes. Rocky. Okay, so so this was my dream supplement company. So this is what I set out 2 years ago. This is what I wrote down. I was like, this is what I want. I wanted zero inventory costs. I wanted recurring revenue with AutoShip. I wanted to keep getting paid if they kept buying stuff, even if it wasn't for me. Like that girl who came back, I was like, I should have getting paid for that entire 2-year period. I wanted the option to sell in bulk up front. I wanted price protection and premium positioning. I wanted celebrity endorsements to leverage. I wanted proprietary blends and non-generic names to further protect from price comparison. I wanted as much margin as possible. I wanted endless supply and choices, and I only wanted to sell high margins. I was not messing around with low margin products, which waste consumer dollars and give them to someone else instead of me. And since it didn't exist, we decided to make it. And so this is the new retail model that will put all others out of business and reclaim the business lost to the GNCs and vitamin shops of the world. So I told you guys we wanted zero inventory costs. So we created a dropship model. So we pay for the cost of storing inventory. That's our actual warehouse. Check it out. We wanted recurring revenue with AutoShips. We created AutoShip cash flow so everyone can go and subscribe and save for any products they have. I wanted to keep getting paid if they kept buying stuff. So we have sticky commissions so you can get paid now and then they keep buying 1 year later and then you get paid later, right? Even if it's like someone stops buying and then buys a year later, you still get paid. I wanted the option to sell in bulk up front. So I'd have 3, 6, and 12 month packages, which is $300 to $5,000 sales. All right, like all of this stuff is available. You can make a $5,000 sale now. And you don't have to carry the inventory and you can immediately get paid on it. Right? I wanted trainer buy-in. So we had commissions tracking, trainer certifications, and sponsorship programs that we do so that we can increase trainer buy-in. Wanted price protection, premium positioning. So there's actually listings on 2 different sites. The main site is actually listed 40% higher than the backdoor distributor site. And there's centralized pricing control. So it means that like we control the pricing and the pricing doesn't go down. So what you see here at the bottom is like what they're going to see is $97, $107, but what you will sell it for would be like $67, right? And so they're going to be getting a deal and they will never be able to shop you. I wanted celebrity endorsements to leverage. So I had PhDs, Olympians, and pros actually endorse it, right? And on every bottle you see here is PhD formulated, trusted by Olympians. I wanted proprietary blends and non-generic names to further protect from price comparison. So all blends are proprietary, but with the expensive ingredients pulled out for quality comparison, meaning if like creatine monohydrate, for example, would be something that is a cheap product or a cheap ingredient. Caffeine is a cheap ingredient. Well, we don't have caffeine in products, but I'm just saying they're cheap ingredients. So cheap ingredients we put inside a blend so that we can say, hey, customer, like I want you to have the exact amount that's in this blend because we know that it's been put in these right doses to exhibit X result. For the expensive ingredients, we pulled all those out so that you could say, listen, there's nothing that has this amount of this ingredient in it. You can shop around for it. And if they do, they'll notice that full bottles of just that single ingredient are more expensive than the entire bottle, right? And so it maximizes your ability to sell it on both sides. We want as much margin as possible, so we made some of those 300% the industry average with more absolute money than you'd be able to make it if you made them yourself. And here's just some money math visualized. So a typical zero inventory commission would be 15% for like a $39 fat burner, which means you get $6 on a sale. Forget about paying a rep, right? The new way commissions, you get 47% on a $67 sale, which makes you $31 on a sale, which is literally 5x the payout for selling the best product. We wanted endless supply and choices, so we have a centralized warehouse that enables unlimited selection and quantity without ever running out, and shipping to Canada. Here's Derek Shannon, super impressive guys, 2 days to Canada, right? I only wanted to sell something with high margins, not mess around with low margin stuff. So the average margin is 42%, which is 3 times the margin of what the average gym services actually are making, right? I wanted to actually have the best product in the market, not just say I did. So Dr. Kashi made these formulations personally. So Dr. Kashi, do you want to take here 60 seconds and just say what went into it?
Hey guys, ooh, can you see me okay? I'm just going to assume yes. I was working with Alex on this project almost at the 2-year mark when he was talking about you guys when he was fiddling around with it. And he gave me the opportunity, knowing the sort of history I had, to basically, like, he basically presented this project as, you made a lot of sandwiches in your life. If you're going to be making a sandwich, how would you make it? And so I was given the opportunity by Prestige Labs to formulate products the way that I would prefer a product. And so I put, without question, probably as much time and energy as I did in like finishing my doctoral dissertation and making sure these things came out the way I wanted them to come out. And it it's been a pleasure for me to see all this stuff come to life, and I'm very proud of this, and I can't wait to see what you guys can do.
Thank you, sir. So Dr. Kashi actually went through 3,000 different raw ingredients and started from the ground to custom formulate each of these. And then we have to go back and forth to the manufacturer to be like, do these combine well? Can these actually not cake the machine? All that kind of stuff. On top of that, I wanted a beautiful retail selection, but not have to actually carry it. So we have one-time retail kits that you never have to restock again. So you can see at the bottom left, like these are the retail kits that come out, and then you never actually have to restock them because they're actually empties. So they just sit there, look beautiful, and then you get all the advantages of retail with none of the costs. I wanted top tier manufacturing, so we use the same company that manufactures many Whole Foods products, the CGMP, twice tested, never failed inspection. Fun fact, most expensive line that they've ever produced. So the manufacturer was like, hey man, this is literally the most expensive line I've ever made. And we've always believed that there's two winners in a market, the cheapest and the best. And being the best has always been our way to do it. And oh yeah, I wanted to get paid out immediately, not on 30 or 60-day timetables. So we pay out bi-monthly to align with payroll. So that way you get that way you can pay your people based on commissions in real time. So there's no lag, which means money in your pocket faster, right? And like I said, I wanted all this with 40% gross margins across the board to me as a gym owner without a dollar risked out of pocket compared to the industry average of 10%. And after having put the better part of 22 months to create the relationships, the products, the technology backing, and the 5 years of running my gyms to perfect the selling system, I'd like to proudly introduce Prestige Labs. Wow. I know everyone's silenced, but I'm assuming everyone's just in a ruckus of applause. I'm just kidding. So here's our intention. Was we wanted to create a selling system and a product line 100% made for gym owners with top-notch products so you could sell with conviction. Like you guys know that my big thing is conviction. You have to believe, right? And so I wanted to make something that was so good that everyone could feel good about selling your teams on it and selling it to your products, because I take that seriously, because like if we're going to take any part of your fulfillment under our wing, like we want to make sure that it's absolutely amazing. And so this is the first product line that I know of that was made with a selling system at the same time. So you'll see with more detail, like how many details were woven into the story to make it more successful for you financially. So Josh Pond asked me this. He's like, dude, why are you giving away so much margin? Like, this is kind of crazy. And it's because like, as our company's grown, we've come to accept like one simple truth, which is just that the more money we make other people, the more money we make, the bigger opportunity that we have to sell, like straight up. And so that's what we did. And so you're like, cool, Alex, I get it. Supplements make you money. It's good for clients. The product's good, all that stuff. But how do I make money in the next 30 days? Well, I'm glad you asked. So here's secret number 4, how to get all your existing customers to beg to sign up for supplements immediately. The free competitive 28-day challenge launch. So this is the launch method that we do internally. This is how we kick things off. Let's say you have 200 active customers. Doesn't have to be EFTs, but let's just say 200 active customers. And then of the people that participate in the free challenge, you get 170 people, 85%, which is fairly typical. I'll give you lots of social proof in a second. And then let's say you have 80% buy a supplement pack, which is what we call a 4-bagger. All right, which means the price is $201. You have 136 people buy it. And that's all in recurring revenue signed up with zero fulfillment cost at a 42% margin, which means you're making $27,000 a month in additional revenue that you were not making prior. Woo. You're like, this sounds unreasonable, Alex. No one actually hits those numbers. Well, here's Chris Barnett. He's like, I just released our 28-day Belly Fat Blast sponsored by Prestige Labs. Shit's blowing up around here. This is August 27th. You see August 28th. Chris Barnett, 107 signups in 2 days. We'll be able to do 2-on-1s on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We should hit our full 160 by then. 90% on supplements. 144. Holy shit, 28,800. That's his prediction. 31st, 3 days later, we got 160 signups for internal challenge. They're all wanting supplements too. And then here we go. 30 days later, here's the leaderboard. Chris with 27,251. So his prediction was 28,800. What actually happened was 27,251. Yeah. And so here's a second example. We got Kate in Dallas, sold 30 members non-free. And then they came back and made it free and sold 90 more. And so Kate was telling me, she's like, we did $98 or bring 2 friends and get it free, which pretty much signed people up for free, told them to try their very best to bring 2 friends on. So she didn't have that many people. I think we should get them all on board this week. 100% free. I don't think it's cost us stopping. I feel like they don't want to put effort in. And I was like, hey, Kate, why don't you just do it our way, since we already tested it and it works well. And she was like, okay, 90 more signups. I guess free worked. I made a vid and said exactly what you told me to say. Haha, the 90 is just current clients, doesn't include the referrals that come with it. And so it's crazy how they can't afford a $98 challenge, but sign up for recurring supplements like it's nothing. I was against the free thing because I thought it wouldn't buy supplements. Not the case. Note to self, just listen to Alex the first time. I don't say that to brag. I say that because we've just tested it. Like, I have all these scars, and like, I'm just asking you to just take my word for it. Like, I tried to maximize the revenue when I was running that. Like, if there was another way to make more, I would show you that way. And here's Brian Sweeney. Mailbox money. I've been selling supplements at RTB since we opened. The issue has always been getting continuity, sales, and high cost of inventory. I usually keep. Thank you. I usually keep 3 to 5K of stock at the gym at all times. Without a continuity system, there are months where inventory just, quote, sits there, right? That's the dusty shelves problem. The opportunity with Prestige line is massive. Jenny and I are incredibly grateful to have been included in the beta test and are excited to see where this takes us. Mailbox money is the name of the game moving forward. No inventory, frequent commission payouts, repeat sales, so good. He just screenshotted his commissions. There's him. He made $26,492. And Chris, if you see, I actually screenshotted from before, but his actual finish was astonishingly close to his prediction. And here's a couple other ones. Here's some more reasonable ones because some people are like, that's unreasonable, Alex. I have limiting beliefs, so I don't believe I can achieve large amounts of success. So here's more average wins for you if you're one of those people. So we ran the 28-day play with Launch Prestige. We signed 55 challengers, sold 10,000 supplements in 2.5 weeks. We roll out on Monday. People are pumped. I'm probably the most. So actually, I think I just realized I might have misread this. I think she sold 55 challengers to her new clients, and then she's rolling out her internal play, so she's selling even more than that. So sorry that I guess someone's not as reasonable. Amy Wardman, we sold 56 challengers at our first BFB. We hit over 10,000 supplements. We'll hit a class of tennis record tonight. Super stoked to say the least. Cool. So here's the deal, guys. The bigger deal you make this to your trainers and your gym clients, the bigger deal they will make it, and the more people will participate and buy, period. All right. So I know we covered a lot. Here's the highlight reel. People pay you more for supplements than they do for service. That's a promise. They value it more because it's easier for them to do. Why not selling supplements to your clients is doing them a disservice because you're lacking a way to monetize them so you can reach more people, so you can serve them at a higher level, and then getting more buy-in from customers so that they can actually get better results. 3, you can do all this stuff without adding any risk. Like, you can do this with 0 down, like no risk to your business. You don't have to buy inventory anymore. Like, the old way is gone. There's a new way to do this now. And then finally, we just went over like how you can basically run this play internally, sign up all of your existing customers on a supplement subscription, basically immediately with no ad spend, and just make money for doing that. That's it. So it would be beyond the scope of the presentation to give you all the scripts, recordings, ad copy, etc. And I hope you guys don't mind, but I put together a little training to show you exactly how to achieve the same results each gym owners did. Is that cool? Do you guys want to hear about it? A couple people. Sweet. You guys want to hear about it? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Some people want to hear about it. Okay, great. Just making sure. Cool. So it's called Supplement Selling Secrets. Side note, this is my favorite logo that I've ever made. It has like gold coins and science and pills. I don't know. I just love this logo. So here's what you guys are going to get. Team buy-in, because one of the number one issues that people are like, I get it, I understand this, but I don't know if I can get my team on board. So first thing we do is we're going to show you exactly how to sell your team on doing this, how they become raving lunatics about selling supplements. We'll show you the presentation. And here's Josue, which is one of Joey's trainers, says, brah, you ready for this shit? 5 weigh-ins, 4 ultimate bundles, and only one didn't buy, all in recurring. So that's $1,600 in recurring sales from one set of weigh-ins. All right, that's from a team member. Recordings of the team presentation, so you can actually see gym owners pitching this to their staffs, so that you can like just see how they did it, like nothing crazy, real gyms, real training staffs. The new supplement certification for their conviction in the product to match yours, and so they know what they're doing. I know trainers love certifications, and so Dr. Kashi actually put together certification specifically for the supplement line so that they can go through it, get a certification. You guys can put it on the wall. And I already read you what Aaron Moose said earlier, like, thanks, man. Make sure you get your staff certified. Like, the buy-in is great, and you can see all the stuff that we cover to just get them bought in on it, right? And on top of that, we have a sponsorship program, so they actually get free product, which is awesome, and that gets them even more bought in. All right, and then like you can see all the gyms who are like, my team loves it, my team's stoked about the sponsorship, love the sponsors from the product, sponsorship's on fire, like thanks to Cultivate Sales Professionals, sponsorship was motivating the team, they loved it, our trainers are fighting monthly to be sponsored, blah, 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 right? So after you get the team bought in, how do you get more leads and referrals? You know how to handle signing up to get sold supplements for $0 ad spend. So here's Eric Basic. It's crazy, offering up a free challenge. It's genius. Sign up 48 people in 28 hours, just past 75 signups, 10 of which are non-members. Pump for the opportunity. Thanks again. First day interviews, close 50%, over 4,000 in grade A top supplements. Here's Nicole Race. Just dropped 28-day belly fat blast in our Facebook group. 1 hour later, with 30 appointments, haven't even sent out the email yet. Super exciting, right? We'll show you all that stuff. We'll give you the share funnels, like everything that you need to run this, pre-made, easy, drop, paste, text and email, posters to hang inside your facility. It's already white labeled, so you can just like print them out, very easy. Example video announcements for your group, so you can actually watch these gym owners pitch it to their groups. They're only 2-minute videos, so just so you get a feel for it. And then that's just how you get everyone's, like how you generate all the leads to get this going. Lead nurture. So this is the automated schedule and show system. So the simple single message script that gets 99% response rates from your existing customers to get them to book and show. Here's a example schedule. You can see this on the left, and you can notice the huge amounts of take rates on that script. The Thomas Jefferson trainer hack to get them to sell your entire gym for you, which is awesome, and it really does get the trainers to sell the entire gym for you within a matter of days. So sales, how to get 85% of people for real to sign up for membership twice as expensive as their gym membership. Here's Joey Huber, extra $3,500 a month profit and growing just by adding 5 minutes to our weigh-ins and nutrition consult free run overnight, right? Like this stuff's real. So inside of sales, we'll show you the macro sales overview, exactly how this stuff has to get laid out in sequence, the perfect 5-minute pitch, so easy you can outsource it to non-salespeople after a few weeks, no pros necessary. Here's Chris Barnett. You saw his numbers. My operations manager is also helping us. He does most of our nutrition orientations now. So he actually was the one who did most of those sales. Justin Lesh, I showed you earlier. That entire thing was run by his team, not him. All right, the Magic Assume closed a single question that made me hundreds of thousands of dollars and now has made our gym lord community millions of dollars. The instant average package doubler, this is from Josh Pond. He's the one who discovered this. It's a pre-fame that instantly doubles the average purchase by default, and that 70% of people take without hesitations. All right, it's huge. The secret subscription sentence that on average 3.4x is all orders, because that's what recurring typically is. And it's so simple that you'll want to use it everywhere that you possibly can. Here's Trammy. She was like, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know that we're number one. And this is from recurring rep who said, hey, how are we number one on the leaderboard right now? I was like, how? We haven't sold much in the last few days. And that's the magic of recurring. You win in your sleep. The no sale sale. This is what a lot of you guys have been waiting for. So the no sale sale allows your salespeople. So if anyone has been zoning out, unzone out right now. The no sale sale allows your salespeople to never get burnt out and never let a customer walk away without a purchase. So hear my words right now. If you are selling a free challenge, when someone comes in, you can give them the challenge to do at home and then have them come in for a nutrition orientation like you normally would for a customer. And at the nutrition orientation, sell them product. What's crazy is that the average ticket size for people who are taking a free at-home challenge is higher than the people who are taking the in-gym challenge, okay? Which means if you have 100 people walk in your door, you sell 60 on service like you normally do, but all those 40, you can now sell an at-home challenge and then make money from every single one of them. And each one of those people will pay your rent for you from the recurring revenue that is now coming in from them. So people who are saying no are now paying for your campaigns and your rent for you. And your salespeople don't burn out because they feel like you truly, truly, truly have something that is no money down. And that way everyone feels great. People think you're an angel in the sales consultation. It's awesome. Okay, so this is an innovation in the entire sales process that we could not have unless we had another way of monetizing the relationship besides service, which they have said no to. Now, why do you think people would pay more for it? Because those people don't want to do the work. They're not at that emotional level yet. But it doesn't mean that we can't increase their buy-in and hope that they actually do it at home, which actually a lot of people do. And ironically, we're having people who are coming in on their 3rd week of their at-home challenge. And if they're struggling, awesome, sign them up for a membership with more accountability. If they're not struggling, then just keep them on the supplement recurring, because the EFT payout is the same as your EFT right now. All margin. Is that cool? So here's Nicole Race. The new offer is so easy to sell. What's 6 to 7 for paid challenges and 1 no sale sale from a lady who thought I was an angel for providing such a great program for free. Jason Benavides, just completed my first no sale sale. They did over 200 in recurring, easy as pie. Dan McCaffrey, 9 for 9 on the no sale sale. Just wish we had someone in the UK. Justin Lash, the real value of the no sale sale after 2 weeks of pitching no sale, real values come out. He asked me to share this because you guys might not realize it. It's super easy sale. There's no more angry people. Second chance for the sale. Easier to scale and delegate because no one gets upset. Your team's way higher bought in because it's like we're helping everyone. You have a higher close rate because everyone just feels good about everything. There's less stress on the salesperson. There's no more going home and hitting life after becoming a scam. Community love, way easier for group sales and closes. Salesperson's way less nervous, easier to be prescriptive in the program versus sales, and all of that jazz. So That makes sense. Does everyone want to like immediately implement this because you will literally be able to make your rent payment for every month from people who you weren't making money from before? Cool. Okay, so with sales, we'll give you the macro sales overview, the 5-minute pitch, the assumed magic assumed close, the instant average package doubler, the subscription, secret sentence, and the no sales sell layout. Fulfillment, how to make your internal play run effortlessly with the best materials and no classes needed or overhead. All right, so we have brand new supplement incorporated meal plans, grocery list, food preparation instructions, eating out guides, bulking blueprint, habit forming cheat sheet, traveling on track, 90-minute meal preps, hacks, ordering system, the make money while you sleep share funnel. Fun fact, 24% of all the sales that are coming in from the affiliate links. So that's people who are going into these portals and buying through the links that the gym owners have just posted around there, just like on their Instagram. And so these are 24% of all sales are passive right now. Right? Like, talk about truly making money in your sleep. Like, that's how this works. Okay. On top of that, you'll have world-class support. Kate Switzer saying shout out to PL support staff. We've had no missed orders, no mess ups, no wrong addresses, no package arrive. It's 0 complaints after contact. How's that even possible? You guys are amazing. Shannon, I'd like to wholeheartedly agree and confirm this post. We only started selling Monday, but thus far the customer service was the top rate, and something's arriving all the way up in Calgary at lightning speed rates. And you hear Carrie Baker, y'all are amazing. Not for the first time we've had messages like this. Thank you. This is one of their clients. Great. Thank you for that number. Truly, customer service was wonderful. I do appreciate your help. Yes, they're amazing. Product. So it's like, hey, you got to know what you're actually selling. So the sales verbiage, dosing FAQ, science behind each product, so you can know exactly what to sell and learn from Cashy Science. Let me just call it that. From Cashy Science in the meantime, right? And so there we go. So with each of the ones, they'll just look just like this. You'll have the science behind the product and the FAQ. Neither of these are things that are just good to know, but each one of them, most importantly, you should just be looking at the sales verbiage, because believe it or not, when you start talking about science stuff, people get really glazy. But if it makes you feel better to know more about how, like, the thought that went behind the formulation of the products, like, that's what these are there for. And so here's a bunch of people saying the products are great. I could read each one of them, but I don't want to bore you. They're all saying my life has changed. It is amazing. These things help me out a lot. These ones help me sleep better. These ones help me break soreness, fatigue, all this kind of stuff. All right. So resell. You're going to get 2 more full internal plays already done for you. So look at these beautiful meal plans that you are now able to give to your clients. Week B, week C, week D, all of these pre-made meal plans. And grocery lists to go with each one of these that made it even easier than the ones that we had before. All right. In addition to that, you have online portals so that you can sell this to your internal customers that they do not have. Right?
All this
portal, it's already dynamic. It has been adjusted for the different meal plans. So each recipe and video has been adjusted for the meal plans, which is unbelievable. On top of that, you have all the fitness workouts for them to do. So if you are selling an at-home challenge, they can do these. If someone is on vacation or they're away because of work or whatever, you can cover, like, you can get them covered like for that. Like, it doesn't have to be an obstacle in the sale. That makes sense. On top of that, we have 6 new customer conversion points to make effortless daily sales. Set it and forget it retail display for daily sales without ever investing money again. These are some examples from our gym lords. The sampling sales method to get people buy out of reciprocity. It works like gangbusters. It usually results in $2,000 to $4,000 in a single day every time you do it. So we just do it once a month and just stacks on top of what you're already making. The PSYOP, silent internal play, 48-hour flash sale, and more than I can fit into this slide deck. All right. So here's what you guys are going to get. The team buy-in, how to sell your team so they become raving lunatics about selling supplements. Lead gen, how to get more leads and referrals so you know how to handle signing up to get sold supplements for $0 ad spend. Lead nurture, the automated schedule and show system to get them actually walk in the door and be there. Sales, how to get 85% of all people for real to sign up for a membership twice as expensive as their gym membership. Fulfillment, how to make your internal play run effortlessly with the best materials and no added classes or overhead. The product, the sales verbiage, the dosing, the science behind each product so you can know exactly how to say, to sell and learn some of the Dr. Cashy science in the meantime. Resell, how to integrate supplements into the fabric of your gym so that the sales keep coming consistently and effortlessly on autopilot. So I'm going to talk to you about a few successes with this system real quick. I don't know why there's some red slashes on my screen, but we're just going to go with it. Prestige Labs. So here's Tom Miller. This is his first month stats, 126 orders, 25,000 in sales. Ran the 28-day internal challenge and started selling during the nutrition consultation for 6 weeks. Big bottleneck was me, but we still kicked ass and added over 20,000 additional monthly revenue. Sky's the limit to add how much additional revenue can be added via Prestige. And here's Tom. That first one was like his first month, and here's his like third month or fourth month was 37,000. All right, Tom's a beast. So you can keep selling once you start selling. Here's Michael Ferreira. This is just his first 12 hours. So he just like immediately went through all the portal, watched everything in a day and a half, and was like, dude, I got 50 registered in 12 hours for the internal challenge. It has begun. And this is still his first day. He messaged me like, dude, we scheduled 92 appointments over the weekend and started selling this morning. Stats from our first 10 consults. We put all the numbers underneath. Good start, feels great. By the way, I did the first 3, and then the operations manager did the other 7. All right, and so that means that these sales were not done by him. All right, so 8 out of 10 sold were on recurring, 4 bangers, meaning all of those were recurring $200 a month subscriptions. And then right after that, 16 for 19 down, that was his first day, and sold 19 people at an average ticket of $211. I mean, $4,000 his first day, right? So here's Katie Fleece. So hey y'all, hi y'all. I can't really do a Katie Fleece. She probably does Katie Fleece better than I do. So I've honestly had 0 time to dive into this, but I want to implement ASAP. And of course, Katie Fleece doesn't go through the trainings, but just like always manages to make more money than everyone. So what is the first thing I should do? I'll figure the rest out along the way. Of course, she started to like, no idea what I'm doing over here, but whatever. Sold 5 people this morning in a group. Better watch out. Mama wants her Nikes. And then of course, 19 days later, she already cracked 20 grand. All right. So these are just real gem owners making real profits. So here's some more reasonable ones. You know, Dave, visitor entering orders this afternoon and some evening, closed this weekend, 8,000 in sales for the first 3 days. I'll take it. Joe Cowie, first internal 28-day, 15,000 supplements met and sold everyone individually when the product was helpful. We sold more supplements in 2 weeks than we did the last 8 months. Crazy. Thanks for this awesome new source of revenue. Chris Meredith got a funny one, did 20 for 20 on sub sales today, half are not non-refundable deposit, half no sales. So this is how he got half his sales from either one of those sources. Brian Shamp sold 18,000 in 10 days. If I could do it again, I probably would have sold 30 grand. Chad Screeters, dude, holy shit. I've got so much love for you guys. 9 appointments, 2,200 sold. Best was on a day 2, switching to Ultimate script. I'm getting 4 out of 5 on Ultimates, which is a $400 bundle. Claire Pearson, I have a 100% membership base. So if you got a small gym, you don't need to worry about it. 90 of them signed up, sold my ass off and did 17,000 in 6 days. Right. And I'm just going to read this last one. Here's Vadim Noskov. I had my gym for a decade now, and I've really never sold supplements besides protein, which we make close to no money on. So it took me a little longer to jump on this train. At first, it took some convincing from Alex. Thank you. By the way, it's a bit funny how it's just like some of our clients who initially needed major convincing from me in the role of salesperson to start with us. They're a challenge, and then a couple months later, they can't thank me enough for it. So long story short, our 28-day challenge is starting tomorrow. We have about 100 people on it, all members. We didn't do it, bring a friend, because we had already done that with the accountability challenge. Sold about $11,000 worth of supplements over 10 days. The order's still coming in. Talk to all those members individually, which is something I haven't done in a really long time. Refresh connections with people, brought several back to the gym from the holiday slump, and they bought supplements are back. We had a group way, and energy is great. And regardless of the money number, even though 11,000 was worth it, most importantly, I can definitely say this is part of my business now. And while I say this, it sounds funny because only a couple months ago, I never thought I'd really do it. So, I could give you 100,000 other ones of these, but like for those of you who are like, I don't need the emotional story, just show me the numbers. Like, here's the numbers. So this is the last 12 weeks. These are the actual amount of sales. Like Tom Miller, 59,000. Melissa Batterman, 53,000. Noel, 42,000. Chris Meredith, 41,000. Caleb Summer, 40,000. DJ Payne, 39,800. Rob Group, 39,500. Claire Pearson, 37,000. So this is the last 12 weeks, and this is just since October because some of these guys, we let some of them in during bid, and you can see Rob Group's own. AC's actually already cracked 100 grand. Tom Miller cracked 100 grand. Dallas cracked 75. Like I don't know, like if you just do this, like I can help you make a lot more money. So the last program that made gyms this much money and was structured that way, I sold and still sell for $16,000, which we call Gym Launch. Except it is more complex tech-wise, takes longer to make money, and includes an element of risk in the form of ad spend, right? And since the average gym runs on 10 to 15% margins, even if supplement selling secrets made the same amount, supplements revenue runs 42% margin, which means you actually make 3 times the money in your pocket. So to put an estimate on the value, remember the value, right, equation of selling supplements, the result is you add 105,000 on average per year of revenue to at 3 to 4 times the margin your gym likely runs on. The belief would be that not a single gym has not made money that has started selling, and the average gym makes $105,500 a year. And you saw the screenshots directly from the commission backend. Effort, you only have to do 2 things. Click here and there and copy the share campaign and press go, and meet with the people and say these words and then get paid. Delay, you can implement this instantly, and the only time it will take you is the 24 hours to take you to get through the training, which has been shortened 3 times to increase gym speed to money. There's nothing left to chance. We already made everything for you. It's truly plug and play. So compared to the original Gym Launch program, it will make you 3 to 4 times the money net with less risk, less delay, and less work. So you think it'd be logical for me to at least charge 16 grand for it, right? I feel like that'd be fair. Everyone's holding their breath. They're like, fuck. Considering if you're looking at like an investment, there's no investment in the world you're going to get an average of 600% return within a year, right? Like that's like if you're looking like that, that's never going to happen, right? And so if all this did was allow you to spend an extra $20 per lead tomorrow, would it be worth it? Think about how many more sales you could generate with that kind of increase in immediate cash. Get all your clients way more bought in and stay longer, would it be worth it? Get your trainers more bought in. It's your vision and mission to save all the money you spend on orientations and weigh-ins. Side note, I didn't pay for nutrition orientations and weigh-ins because my guys did it for free because they wanted the commissions. Would it be worth it? Give you an average of $105,000 a year in extra revenue. Would it be worth it? This program won't cost you a penny. It is free from how much it makes you. Here's Logan, the man Manzanares. Everything Alex ever sold me has been free because they pay more than they paid for themselves. So I had two options. Option one, make it cheap and give it to everyone. Option two, make it higher investment, give everyone the resources to guarantee your success. So how much is a new investment? Who's a new revenue? How much is a new revenue stream worth to you? Your first new one was front-end money from challenges. How much did that change your business? And the second is, if I offered you a business that made $105,000 a year in revenue with no risk, would you pay $16,000 for it? Something to consider. So this second revenue stream was worth over $2 million to my gyms because it allowed me to continue to outspend my competition and grow and keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And you can't afford to not have this in your business, especially as the landscape will only get more competitive, which is why you can see it's a great deal for $16,000. And outside of our gyms, we will be selling this for $5,997. And that's actually what we started charging for Gym Launch when it first came out. But because I want everyone in the gym, in our gym network, to be the 800-pound gorilla in their market, you can get it started now for weekly payments of, oh God, the suspense is killing me. Nothing at all. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Is everyone all right with that? Is that cool? You guys
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh
All right,
my
making
God.
sure.
That was so mean, but so awesome at the same time.
And so I'm going to sweeten the deal for you guys. I'm going to throw in some bonuses too on top of this to get everybody stoked. So to get your teams and communities totally drinking the Kool-Aid, we actually do two types of competitions inside of Supplement Selling Secrets. First one is monthly ongoing. So on top of the 40 to 50% commissions that are paid out, this is more so for your trainers because the goal here was I wanted every single trainer to be sponsored because I know that it has to start in the grassroots. The team has to be on board for this to be an absolute massive success. And so what we did was we looked at all the different commission structures and all this stuff, and it was like basically for the first $6,000, every $1,000 that comes of that first six, we'll give you an extra free 4-pack of their choice. So they'll basically be able to get whatever 4-pack, performance pack, wellness packs, whatever, that they would want so they can feel like sponsored athletes. And so all they got to do is sell $1,000 worth of stuff, which is stupid easy if you talk to anybody. And so for every 1,000 that your gym sells, you'll get an extra pack up to 6. And that way, up to 6,000, that allows all your trainers to pretty much be sponsored, right? So they sell 3, they get 3,000, they get 3 packs. They sell 4,000, they get 4 packs, 5,000, 5 packs, 6,000, 6 packs, right? And so like you sell 6,000, you get $1,200 of the product basically back free to your trainers. This is something that we weren't sure we were going to keep because it's obviously a ton on our side, but it seems to have worked really, really well with the Gym Lords Gym, which is partially why why the sales numbers were even higher than we were expecting. And that's why we had to push this call out a month because we had to accommodate for the additional sales. So their trainers bought on even more and like they're posting about it and like it's going great. So that way your entire team can be sponsored by Prestige Labs. And hopefully you see that they'll be buying in with that conviction too. I think they will. The second one is a monthly grand prize. And so the top selling gym each calendar month, we fly out to Austin for a VIP day, which is mostly like all you can eat sushi buffets, lifting, and then some talk of business, which people seem to really enjoy. So you guys want in? Sweet. You guys can just say like a yes if you're in, like on the chat thing. That'd be cool if you're into it. Sweet. We got some yeses. That makes me feel better. Okay, so here's what you do right now. Click this link. It's training.prestigelabs.com. The IT team has set this up for you so you can use the exact same login that you use for your Gym Launch login, okay? But it's a different website because it is a different business, which I'm going to cover one thing in a second. After you do that, consume the videos and launch your campaign, all right? Most of the guys who are crushers launched their campaign within 24 hours. The slower guys took a week, but everyone was already making massive sales within 14 days, all right? So like you guys can hit 20, 30,000 in additional sales with no ad spend. So like you guys want to add another EF to your business, just do this, okay? So this is a housekeeping note that customer service wanted me to note for you. I came up with this saying, blue is for you, gray is for they. So if you're in the members.gymlaunch.us, which is your normal training portal, if you click the blue button, that is going to be stuff that is for use. That is tech support stuff that if you're having trouble building the funnels or connecting things or auto respond, all that kind of stuff. If you have any tech issues, blue is for you. If you are in the training.prestige labs portal, that portal, despite the fact that that is what houses the training, is actually for the support team that will answer questions about product. So, where is actual product? I need a refill on the product. I need to change the flavor. I need to change the card, like blah, 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 all that stuff that's related to orders. I need to, like, my commission, when is payouts? Well, you shouldn't ask those questions because they're immediately available in the portal. But like, that is where you would ask that type of question. So one of them is B2B. The other one is B2C. Blue is B2B, meaning business. Gray is B2C, meaning talking about your customers and their work. Okay. The reason we separated this is not to make your life harder. They're two separate companies and they have two different functions. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Sweet. So let's go click there. Let's hear from some gym lords. I had 4 of them who were kind enough to give their time, who have gone through this, all with kind of different stories. I figured they could give just a 60-second bullet point of kind of their experience with it to get you guys psyched about it. Hope that's cool. Do I got Justin Lesh on here?
I'm here, Alex.
Lesh is on here. You there?
I'm here. I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, dude?
All right.
Give your story,
Not
dude.
much. So guys, I got this call as a beta test a day before leaving for a month-long road trip. And I was like super stoked. And Alex like, it's a contest. You've got to do this. And I'm gone for a month. And we're a 1,600 square foot facility. At the time we had like 100 members. And so I called my ops manager who's like part-time. And I'm like, hey, here's this portal and training, which was nowhere near as good as yours is now. And I was like, hey, just make this happen. And she's like just a soccer mom. It was a client that like helps me out on the side. And between her, my trainers, they put it together. I think we did $16,000 in sales while I was gone for all our members. Like I came back and like there was prestige stuff on the walls and like they just followed the videos. Like it was literally the PowerPoint. You just read the slides and it worked. And like now everyone does prestige at our gym. I mean, it's that easy. Like, and then these are not salespeople, guys. These are like soccer moms and like trainers that just want to help people out. Do you want me to do no sell too, Alex?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So the other one, guys, is I at the time had a really awesome team and I have an amazing sales manager who actually works for Prestige now. Alex, I don't know if you know that. She shifted to the boat. So my sales manager just recently went to work for Prestige. So I'm back to selling again after like the first time in 6 months. And I did 1 week of old school challenge sales and I realized why I hired a manager because I hated being called a sleazeball and a liar and a false advertiser and all that stuff. And then the no sales sale came out and like I'm everyone's favorite person. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're so sweet. This like you must have a mission to just help people because everyone gets help that walks in my door. I get to help every single person. I can hand a group sale the contract that says the free or non-free, but everyone has to pull out their ID. Everyone fills out the contract. Everyone gets scheduled nutrition orientation. Everyone's happy, and then everyone buys something. And the cool thing is, Alex didn't even talk about it until later probably, but when they come in for their free no sales orientation, you can sell them something else if they didn't want the challenge. Like you don't just have to sell them stuff. So we've actually had people buy different versions of memberships that said no to the challenge because they're already coming back. They already think you're awesome because you're giving them a free challenge. And I used to like dread my sales shifts. I don't like freak out before. I don't sweat. I don't come home feeling like crap. And we had an awesome sales month, 1,600 square foot facility. We did, I think not counting subs, like 56K this last month. And that's like cheap area of Arizona. So it helps. And then subs, I think we just hit 12 this month, Alex. Only 12, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
So
all these
yeah.
terrible
All right.
Perfect, dude. Thanks, dude. Hey, Vadim, can you talk about how you like never thought you would ever sell supplements?
Sure. Hey, Alex. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. So I've been in this business for over a decade now, like pretty much a CrossFit gym for quite some time. Never sold any supplements, maybe protein shakes or protein powder, like barely made any money on it. And so it's funny because I'm listening to this call now, and we had our call in Legacy a while ago now. And going into that call, I was like, let's just not hear anything about supplements. Let it not be supplements, because I was like, I'm just quitting Legacy today. And I mean, I didn't think that, but anyway, after this, I mean, and with all Alex's charm, and it took me a while to get to it. and kind of like understand that. And then I stepped back and I was thinking about this and I was like, it feels almost just like when I first jumped into Gym Launch to begin with, right? So why not? Maybe there's something to it. And I started working on it and thinking about this. I didn't even get the full buy-in from my coaches. I jumped into it and I got the Belly Fat Blast Challenge rolling. And I was actually on a short trip with my kids to a water park for 4 days. So I was sitting next to the jacuzzi and calling my clients, and it felt awesome. I talked to like over 100 of my clients on the phone, signed all of them in, and basically, I mean, my numbers are nowhere near some of the gym lords who are hitting it really hard, but I sold over $11,000 in supplements, and I now have about 10K in the recurring monthly income from it. So it works like a charm. And I take all of it too now.
Love it, man. Thank you, Vadim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Mel, can you talk about for the gyms who are smaller, who are on here, like what kind of your experience was as a smaller facility? Mel. Oh, Mel must have dropped off. Well, it's not going to be Mel. I'll tell you, like, just pretend if you're a small facility, we just broke your beliefs about how much money you can make. She does like $25,000 a month with 100 people. So there's the story. Caleb, Erica, you guys on here?
What's up?
What's up, dudes and dudette? Why don't you tell your story? Because for those of you who are like want the big numbers, here's some big guns. What did you guys do in the short month of February?
So my voice is shot because I talked to too many people. But we basically did just shy of 50K. It was our first month. We didn't sell a single supplement before that. And so we launched Belly Fat Blast, 28-day internal challenge. And just like Vadim, I was like terrified to sell supplements. I have like multi-level marketing friends that I was like, I'm going to be that guy. And I went to the summit and probably talked to 20 different gym owners asking, break my belief, because I'm in my head on this. I think people are going to label me that way. People don't want to take supplements. We're more like a CrossFit gym, so if it has artificial in it, it's cancer, and it's going to create World War III, is the mentality among some people. So honestly, once I broke those beliefs through some other gym lords and some people and dove into the first sale, I immediately realized it was a piece of cake. Like, I was quivering going into the first sale, and then first person I sold bought an ultimate. And then from there on, our members are like praising us. They're like, this is amazing. We personally took the supplements for 6 weeks leading up to it. And that helped a lot with the conviction piece of it, because especially this young lady here, she had an amazing transformation, lost 20 pounds and 6% body fat in 6 weeks. And she's fit already. She went down to 14% body fat. She didn't do anything crazy. She had a pizza on Saturday night, every single Saturday night.
Not like a personal one, like the full frozen pizza.
But basically, we were able to have success ourselves with them, and that really helped me. But then the second I started talking to my members, they were pumped. And even my like CrossFit members that I thought would not like something that has artificial or that's a diet pill, I was shocked to believe they were like, yep, sign me up. And I was like, whoa, all right, easy enough.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you. Almost 50,000. So you guys can try and break Caleb and Erica's record when you guys do your first month. Tanya Green, I'm looking at you guys. I want to see what you guys can push. Kate, you on here? / Dallas.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
We're here.
Why don't you give just quick rundown of what your stats and yours, because you guys have done 75,000. So just love to hear your just overall being able to like weave it into the process you have on the front end and everything.
Sure. Well, thanks for the shout out. We kept things really simple. Like, I just decided to follow exactly what was in the training portal, like word for word. Everything that's discussed in there covers belief breaking. Some of the things that I was a little resistant about was, just selling supplements like a lot of the other lords on here have said. But what I realized is that if I don't, like, I'm doing my clients a disservice if I don't provide them with access to some of the best supplements in the world. And they're just going to go to GNC and stock up on a bunch of garbage and spend their money and just basically flush it down the toilet. So why not give them the opportunity to work with a company that delivers amazing products that actually do work? And so I feel really good about selling them. And we were able to interweave this into our process. So there really isn't any extra work. Like I said, we basically just ran this the way that the training explained. One thing that I would point out for everybody who's watching, don't try to reinvent the wheel, just run it exactly as it's specified. We didn't have the luxury of all the innovations that have been created in the subsequent months after the initial launch. I was part of the beta group, and so I think we did 20 or 25,000 in the first month, but that was just with the very basic training that was available. And I not to downplay everything that Alex has put in there, but it is a lot more substantial at this point. And just going with the very basic training that was initially rolled out, we were able to do well. And like Alex said, I think we've sold close to 80,000 so far. And it's really been fun, and it's not any extra work. And we
it doesn't feel like we've made that much. Like, it's just really easy to do. It's just like part of our process. I think a lot of people wait a few months to implement it, which, like, there's no reason to do that, because it's almost like less work. Like, they're going to buy them anyway, so you just add it into your process. So it's just like naturally, and like clients are like thankful, they're like excited about it, and it like builds into your culture and like becomes part of like what they want. So it's not like this like extra thing on top of what you guys are doing.
Yep. So that would be my advice if anybody wants it. I'm not sure you're taking advice, but if you are, model what's working and don't try and reinvent the wheel. If you guys do have questions, post in the S3 group, and everyone in there is super interactive. You guys will get all the help that you need, and I'm more than happy to lend a hand if need be, so reach out.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. I hope you feel that you got ROI on your time, being able to now add 100,000 plus to your revenue just from the return on the time that you've been on this call. Literally all you need to do, go to that link, training.prestigelabs.com. Just sign in, make your account, go through the videos, and there's already a launch sequence that's in there. So if you were to go through it today, you could literally have your first real sales days in 14 days and absolutely demolish it. And that's like for an internal play. Externally, you could start selling supplements like tomorrow if you have weigh-ins. So if you guys want to be superheroes, you can watch it for, like, you have enough time tonight to go through everything and start using it tomorrow. So just rock and roll, and appreciate you all. Thank you so much for, the time, and thank you for believing, and I'll talk to you guys soon.